Hey, it's Sam Bakker here. Welcome to this interview. And I'm excited today to be with Tom JVZoo. He is a marketer who's done really well over JVZoo. He's one of the top vendors out there right now. His last two launches, his first one, MadSense Reborn, broke 100K. It's an info marketing product. And his most recent one, Rank Cypher, did over $200,000 in a launch. So really, really cool. Tom's going to be sharing how he got started. He's got a very unique story. And he's also going to be going through how he's been able to get so much success over JVZoo, and you'll be able to find out, hopefully, some really good information about launching today. So, Tom, thanks for coming on.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. Thanks for interviewing. It feels, it's a pleasure to be here. And looking forward to, sharing my story, teaching people, inspiring people, showing them that they can get these results. I mean, I'm definitely not the smartest guy. I'm definitely not the fastest. I don't understand things fast. So I think that my journey will definitely, for someone else, could be much shorter and much easier. So looking forward to helping your peeps.
That's cool. Awesome. So tell us a bit about how you got started and how long ago this all happened for you.
Well, it started and I was 18 years old, fresh out of the army, 2011. And I was just got out of the army, found a job. I was just switching jobs all the time. I wasn't the type of person to stick around in a job. I had problems with authority, and I just couldn't. Yeah, and I met a friend. I met my friend, and he started doing something online. And we were speaking, and he's like, "Yo, I'm doing something online. I'm making not a significant amount, but something small, and it was basically local CPA." But he was doing it in a very illegal way, right? Was basically, you have CPA offer, so someone gets paid, you get paid, let's say $5 for every time someone submits their email to your CPA offer. So what he would do, he would come to those people, to random people, online or offline, and tell them, here's a link, please do this, and I'll pay you $1 out of the 5 I make. And it was manual, and it wasn't allowed, so if the network discovered that that's how it works, they would have taken the money back. And I tried it. It didn't work. It felt wrong. So I moved on. But I already got exposed to this online thing in a way. It was here locally in Israel. So from there, I started searching for opportunities. There was some guy. He got me into this MLM. He got me to invest $500, and I was making at the time about $1,000 a month. And I lost all that money in this MLM opportunity. The business owner of that opportunity actually disappeared with millions of dollars. It was
crazy.
Maybe you know the name. I think it was Zigzag Rewards.
Zigzag Rewards.
Yeah. So it was. But a funny thing at that point, I said, okay, I'm done with Israel. I'm done with this market. I want to go different. I want to go broad. I want to go ahead and I want to to build a real business online. And that's when I got exposed in 2012, early 2012, to the Warrior Forum, ClickBank, and all those places. And I spent over $10,000 on products, mostly info products, mostly every time trying a different method, going from trying to do reviews, to trying to do CPA, to try and create a product, and to fake it till I make it, and I didn't make it, so it didn't work. And I just did so many things, so many mistakes for 2 years, almost 2 years. That has been my difficult point. I was working in a job making $1,200 a month. I got coaches, and it was bad investments, bad coaches, lost so much money, had so much pressure in my life, nothing worked. Until 2013, I had my first successful, for me it was successful product launch, and I made $3,000. And it was for me, $3,000, I felt like 3 months of income. I immediately quit my job, and and started, working from home. But I didn't know what to do. I had a launch. I sold like 400 copies. Now I had 400 new buyers on my list. So, and from there I didn't know what to do. So I just started hammering the list with offers. and like in a month or two, they all stopped responding, and I lost all my income. I didn't, because I didn't know. I was just sending them, and I had no idea. So I sent them an email about an offer. The next day, I sent another offer, and no value, right? No reviews, no bonuses, none of that stuff. And bonuses weren't that popular back then. Just, hey, buy this, and hey, buy this, and hey, buy this. And within a month, that's it. All my income gone. Nobody's buying, nobody's opening my emails. My open rate was like 1%. That's it. And from there, I knew I had to get another product out there, another product launch, because that was back then my only way to build a buyer's list, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing compared to product launches when it comes to building a quick buyer's list. A real list of people who are really interested in your offer. I mean, you can drive Facebook ads all day and have a really good funnel, but you will never get 3,000 new buyers in a week. I mean, that is crazy. That is something you don't see anywhere else. So in a way, you get addicted to doing launches. You depend on it, and it's easier than people think. And I'm going to give a lot of advice as much as I can about launches. But one piece of advice, something to avoid, is if you do go ahead and start releasing products, whether it's with a partner or not, and you see success and you see results and it's all awesome, please use that momentum to build something more dependable, something, maybe a monthly recurring membership, maybe a high-tech coaching, maybe a software where you can, software as a service. Use that momentum and all that recognition and all that money, cash flow, to build something more dependable. Because if you will spend it, and I did this mistake on my first year that I made a lot of money, I simply bought a new car and got a vacation, blah, 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 and all the money went away, and then I had to get started all over again. And instead of spending, use that and channel it into something else. Just trust me, I know for many people, they are newbies and they're feeling like, I wish I could make the first $10,000. I don't care about all that money later. Trust me, remember this piece of advice, because you will be successful if you keep pushing. And when you become successful, you have to go ahead and build something more dependable, so one day it won't just fall down on you and you have to depend on launches. Then you see all these products out there. By the way, if you guys are buying on JVZoo and Warrior Plus, you probably noticed that so many products are just complete. They're not good. Okay, they're not good. And the reason they're not good, they feel like they're half-assed, they're too quick to be released, they're buggy, is because these vendors, they rush it, and they rush it because they need the money, because they have no other sources, and they don't care about quality. They just care about meeting ends and blah blah blah, however you say it. But basically, they just
making ends meet.
Yeah, that's all they care about. So don't expect any quality from that. And then you buy these products and you feel like, what's going on? Why is it like that? The promise was awesome, but in reality, it's really crappy. It's because these vendors are not making any other money. So I don't want you to get into that situation. So you will be successful. If you listen to Sam, and he's very successful, he knows what he's talking about. So if you listen to him, you listen to all the other experts that he brings, you will be successful. Take action, you will be. And when you will be, remember my advice, build something dependable, whether it's monthly membership, high-ticket coaching. Build something you can depend, something you can outsource, that kind of stuff. Don't only depend on launches, and that would be awesome.
Cool. How did you? What I wanted to find out about is how did you get started on JVZoo in itself? Because obviously you had some success. You did a launch that worked out well. You destroyed your list. What you call, I think, what's it called? You basically destroyed your list because you didn't know what to do with it. And we've all been there. I've done the same thing myself. Not entirely sure what to do, so you just take whatever swipe you can, send it to the subscribe list. A little bit of money comes in, and then you don't realize, in a month's time, suddenly they're gone. How did you get started on JVZoo specifically, and how long has it taken for you to become successful to the stage that you're at now, since actually that time when you did get started on JVZoo?
Okay. So back at the day, I used to do WSOs, which are Warrior Special Offers. You launch a product on the forum itself. On the actual forum, you launch a product, you bump it for 20 or 40 bucks, I don't remember. and you get all that traffic, and then you have affiliates through Warrior Plus and blah blah blah. At some point, and I did, JVZoo wasn't that big back then, and I heard that people moving to JVZoo, but it's so hard because you need to have your own hosting, your own domain, your own graphics. On the Warrior forum, you could just, use the code they have on the forum, or maybe hire a graphic designer for like $100, and you don't need any hosting, you don't even need any traffic. You just launch it there and you get all that traffic. But it was a tough market. People started complaining all the time, asking what the next upsell is, and kind of ruining the point of a direct copy sales page, because you don't have that. It didn't work. It became a forum less than, it just didn't work well. So I heard about JVZoo and what they were doing, and what basically brought me to JVZoo is the fact that you had full control over your funnel, over everything, yet you get the recognition from other affiliates. Affiliates are easily find you, easily see your stats, your fund rates and everything, but still you have all that control and all that privacy if you need to. So it was a good balance. So I started in JVZoo, it was 2014, was my first launch in JVZoo. But it was very small info launches. I made good money, but it was very small info launches. And it took me until about 2016, I would say, to have my first six-figure launch. It was back in May 2016. It was called Pindrill. It was my first six-figure launch, 150K, wow, awesome and everything. And now my last launch was Rank Cypher. It was a product that I'm really proud of. We crossed out 200K during the launch period. I felt really good because it's not just about the money, it's about reaching a milestone, reaching a goal. That it's kind of how do you say that? Once you reach a certain milestone, you get that momentum that later it will be much easier to reach there, whether it's with affiliates or by just knowing the exact steps you took to reach that, and you can simply duplicate it and improve upon it. So I know that from here on it's going to be just much easier to release products. So yeah, it took me about 2 years of launching on JVZoo and promoting affiliate products as well to really get the six figures, constant, launches and everything.
Cool. So how did you, and you talk about momentum, how can someone starting out get that momentum that you talk about? And I'm assuming that means basically everything's sort of running, you're consistently launching, you're consistently doing certain things, and people are consistently seeing you doing well, and that leads to you earning more and more and more each time that you decide to launch or promote something.
Yeah.
How can someone starting out produce that type of momentum?
Yeah. So here's the thing. When you start out, you want to produce that type of momentum, you need to partner with someone who is, I would say just for the lack of a better word, to say someone bigger than you, but not actually bigger, but someone who can simply get you that momentum going. So I'll give you an example from last year, and it's something I never shared with anyone except my closest friends. In 2015 was actually the worst year of my business. Although I was making money, I was spending a lot, and at some point I just stopped doing what I was doing well for some reason, and I started doing something. Just started experimenting with new things for no reason, no real reason, and I lost a lot of my momentum. Okay, and all these launches, and then in early 2016, I released two launches, products that I was really proud of, that I helped create, helped record and everything, and it sold only $20,000 during launch period, and I was shocked. I was devastated. I felt really bad. We paid out prizes, $5,000 in prizes, so you can imagine what the profit was. No profit, and I have a business to run, and I have obligations, and I have an apartment and a car and everything. I was devastated. So I lost all my momentum. I lost everything that I basically had, and each time I tried to release a product, it just failed. So I decided to gain that momentum, which is something that you should do if you are a newbie, and that is I simply found someone bigger than me, someone who has in the JVZoo market, it would be someone with more affiliates and a better, bigger, more reputable name. And I told them, I have I have skills, certain skills I can provide, right? And I want to launch with you, and you're going to be the face of this launch. Just include me there. Make sure I'm obviously getting the recognition. I'm going to do the GV video with you, and let's do this. So it varies. Okay, so for example, in that example, what I could provide was copy, funnel strategy, and positioning. Okay, that was what I could provide. In other launches, what I could provide was JVs, because I didn't have any product. Yeah. On other launches, because I can provide copy, or I don't have that kind of skill. What I can provide is the product. So each time you have to think, what can you provide to that person that he doesn't, that he's looking for? So in most cases, that would be you bringing the product, and he has the JVs. That would be in most cases. Yeah. So that would be the best way to get momentum. Okay, yeah, sure, you're not gonna be able to partner with Todd Gross or Sam Bakker when you're just getting started. Okay, it will be very hard to reach them and to convince them and to pitch them a really good offer. Maybe, but still, even if you partner with someone who is bigger than you, but it's not there, in the 500K level, that's okay. Start there, gain that momentum, and then keep increasing it slowly as you go. And people will see your name. They will see your name on the launches. They will see your name with that bigger partner, and you will gain that momentum. That would be, in my opinion, the fastest way to get momentum when it comes to JVZoo launches, in my opinion.
So how would someone find these people first off, and what kind of skills could people offer to them, or what kind of help could someone offer to these bigger marketers? And what would they need to know in order to do that?
Okay, so where you find those, an easy way would be to check out the JVZoo bestsellers section. I find those because I'm already, I would say I have like friends. So for example, last year when I lost all my momentum and everything, I had to find that partner to be able to, get me that momentum. I found him through a friend who I simply told him, hey, can you introduce me to him? And that's it, And we were both losing momentum, but he was just a little better friends with him than I was. So I asked, like, can you introduce me? Then I had a chat with him, and that's it. That's how I found. So it would be either on Facebook, but or on JVZoo, right? On JVZoo would be an easy way to find the bestsellers, to look into the bestsellers today, to go ahead and see what launches are trending, see some vendors. Because what I noticed is that most big guys have already the JV database, they have everything, they even know how to get copy on board and graphics. All they want is a high quality product. So, and even the funnel, they can strategize with you, right, and help you and educate you on how to build a great funnel. What they want is a high quality product. So what you can do, what kind of skills you can provide to them would be, most of the time they would want a product, okay? And let's say you don't have a product. Well then, you can create one. You can really create one okay, so let me give you an example. You can go ahead, let me give you a better example. Just recently came to me a guy from Nigeria, okay? And he has a software he created. He came to me, he wanted to launch with me. Now, I did not launch with him because issues with timing. He wanted it much earlier than I wanted to release it because I had other obligations. But we were that close to sealing the deal. We had the percentages and everything in place. He came to me. Nobody knows him, okay? And he is not by any means rich or successful, has a big marketing team or something like that to develop softwares. And he came to me. I don't even know how he found me. Probably through a friend. Probably saw me launching. He sent me a message, yada, yada. Probably bought a product of mine and replied, okay, yeah, he replied to me through an email of a promotion I did because he's a customer of mine. So that's another good way to reach those people. Most of these people reply to the look, watch, read, and reply to their customers' emails. So you can send them like a message like, hey, I'm a customer of your product. I love the product. I'm using it and everything. And if you can just give me 1 minute of your time, I have a product like this and this. Please check it out, see if you can launch with me. Maybe you have something to bring to the table. Maybe you can recommend me to someone. That's also a really good way, actually. That's how this guy found me. So that's a really good way. So he came to me and he told me, I have a product. I looked at it and it was a software, and it's not an expensive software. It cost him, I think, $2,000 to make. It's not expensive by all means. I mean, there are much more expensive softwares out there. And it was a good software. It was a very simple concept, very simple, very effective concept. And he came up with it all on his own. And I loved it, So technically we could have just launched it together, if timing would fit. So you don't even need a lot of budget. So if you have obviously less than $2,000, $1,000 to create a product, then either go ahead and create an info product, launch a smaller launch with an info product, and use that funds that you make from there to invest into software. Then you can have a bigger launch. Think about concepts. So if you want to know what kind of product you can create, go to JVZoo, see what the best sellers are, right? Think about the markets they are targeting and what features they have, and try to combine features, play with what the software is lacking, and see if you can come up with a slightly better concept. Get it started, get it moving. That's okay. You don't need the best offer, you don't need the most unique offer, you don't need a groundbreaking software. It's really just get started. Just small info, get some budget, software, get some budget, then you get a developer, then you slowly move in, and in no time, trust me, if you do this in no time, in a year from now, you could be in a whole different place. You could be doing six-figure launches, one after another, and be someone in the industry. So I would recommend getting started from there.
Cool. Now, how would you you've obviously done a number of launches now. What are some of the mistakes that you've maybe made, or some of the things you've learnt that might be useful for someone who's just getting into launching their first product over JVZoo?
Okay. Some of the mistakes I made. One mistake I made is being and I made it multiple times, is stop being consistent with promotions, with launches. And because when you stop, you'll see it a lot in affiliate promotions mainly. When you stop doing them consistently and doing your thing consistently, they will simply drop. And then when you want to go ahead and get started with them again, you will build them slowly. You will need to start basically from low level and start slowly building that momentum once again. Then if you stop being consistent with your list, if you stop emailing them, it will drop, and then it will be much harder, in my opinion, to bring it up again to where it was before. So even with launches, it comes to the same thing on JVZoo. You have to be consistent, whether it's with your brand or with your product. You have to be consistent about certain actions that you take and what you do. So lack of consistency was a huge mistake for me. I just had a launch, then I dropped all my projects, stopped promoting products because I took 2 months off. I mean, I was working, but I wasn't really effective. I was not working on I had to each time get started all over again, and it was very difficult. So lack of consistency was a huge, huge mistake. So be consistent, keep doing your thing. What else? What kind of other mistakes?
First, like the secondary there, when you get a little bit of success, it's really important to keep driving. And it sounds like I've had that same situation you've just explained. It's actually one of the most important parts of this marketplace, is that you have to be consistent. You can't having a little bit of success and then going off on holiday, it doesn't cut it, because people they don't care about your holiday. When you come back, they're not going to care about you because they've already moved on. What they care about is themselves, and if you're on there consistently, sending them information that they need, and Tom, for you consistently review, then people really get a lot of that's what they want, and that's why they'll keep on opening and keep on responding, and it's so important. A little bit of success, keep driving through. Now, what is another piece of advice you might have for someone starting out that's sort of helped you in the time that you've been doing these launches? Because when you started out, you as you mentioned, you've obviously learned a significant amount. What are some of the differences that you've found from your launches now, where they're getting into the $200,000 range, versus when you were doing smaller launches? Is it just the fact that you've built momentum up? Is it because you've now built a network of affiliates? What are some of the things that you've learned? Or is it maybe you've learned a few skills that you didn't have before that people should look at learning?
Mm-hmm. So 3 main differences. One is relationships. I wouldn't call it a network of affiliates because it feels weird. Because for example, if by the way, Sam did not promote Rank Cipher. I didn't work out for some reason, and I don't care, because yes, I have a network of affiliates, but it's about relationships. I've built a relationship with you, Sam, and I promote you promote me. Sometimes not. Okay, that's great.
A quick note on that. If anything, I cared the most. I was gutted. We were actually really busy with everything we were doing, but one of the worst things for an affiliate to see as an affiliate marketer is to miss out on a product that's doing really, really well. And the fact that I was actually gutted when I saw that we hadn't promoted that, because it did do so well, and me as an affiliate, I missed out on a significant amount of commissions as a result of that, because my list went and bought off other people. And it's kind of that consistency thing that if they're going and buying off other people, they're not buying off me. It means that for me, I've let them down. That's how I think about it anyway. So okay. If anything, I missed out on that one.
Well, I haven't thought about it this way, but the point is that I built a certain relationship with you and many other people, made friends, so relationships, and that happens whether by going on events, go to actual events, live events, meetings, masterminds, stuff like that. You meet people, you build relationships, you have connections, you learn a lot. So focusing on relationships really changed it for me. And it's funny because back then I used to always want to have all the affiliates in the world, and I had small launches, and now it's enough for me to have those affiliates that I have a relationship with, and I know many other people will simply jump on board because of that initial spark of my affiliate friends that promote. So that is definitely a huge change. Relationships. Another one, which is another word for having more JVs. Another difference is, what would be another difference? Is like you said, the momentum from back then to now. Another difference is this is deeper stuff, so I'm not going to go into it, but I started focusing more on angles. Instead of reinventing the wheel, I started focusing on reinventing the market angle. So you have a good product, but instead of focusing always to create the best product, the most unique product, the most different product, I'm instead focusing on solving, finding different angles to the same market. So that's a little bit deeper stuff, but it really helped me to, learn about positioning, read books, read articles, learn from other launches about positioning and angles and how they position their offers, how to different markets. So I'll give you a small example. My last launch, Rank Cipher, it was originally intended to be a backlinking software for SEO people who want to automate their backlinking. So the idea of changing the angle and changing the market is we decided to turn this into and position it as an SEO solution to non-SEO people. And everyone who are already SEO bought it on the way. So you have the SEO people, which are like 10% of the market, just giving an example, and you have the non-SEO people, which are like 100% of the market. So instead of targeting just the small 10%, you target everyone, and that 10% jumps on board anyway. So kind of working the angles really helped me understand where I can find the broader markets, how I can make the product more appealing, more sexy, more easy on the, easy to understand, easy to comprehend. And that's another thing that helped me. Not sure if you can take it with you right now to your business. I'm not sure how we can apply it right now. Let's say if you're a newbie starting out, but write it down and think about it later. When you get to those 6 figures. And I think I can't think about anything else right now.
Cool. So what final advice would you have for someone who is getting started that in order to get started fast in this business, what final piece of advice would you have that's really helped you and that you could pass along to them? If they're in a position where maybe they're looking for people that they could JV with, maybe they're starting a new product, maybe they've got a white label product they've purchased. What would you advise them to do?
Well, the first piece of advice would be, just like I said, is to go ahead and move on building a relationship with someone and getting someone to launch your product with you. That would be the first thing you should be doing right now, is to go ahead and think about potential people you can launch. with. And also another thing would be to, when you approach someone bigger than you to launch a product, to drive your product out there, think about what niche they mostly work in. So I'll give you an example. People come to me sometimes with video products, and I just don't do this because I'm not very passionate about video. But even that, just it's not my niche, you know. So I won't launch something in video. But someone else, like for example Todd Gross, you know, that's the guy you want to come with a video offer to, with a video software to. That would be an awesome person to go to. So think about the niche of the JVZoo approach. Don't approach someone who is completely outside of, you know, outside of what you want to launch. So think about it. So Todd Gross is a video guy. Sam Bakker, well, you are all over the place. Yeah, all over the place. But you had a really strong period of video and social. You know, social media and videos. You had a very strong period of that. So back then, I think you had all that momentum from there. And if someone would have came to you with a social launch or a video launch, they would in a month from that moment, they would be a very happy person, you know, to have launched with you and obviously see a lot of success. So think about the niche of a person, what he's doing right now, what he's releasing, what kind of JVs he has.
And that comes into knowing the market as well, right? Like knowing who's out there, who's launching, being familiar with the JVZoo marketplace, and sort of also getting on other people's subscriber lists as well, actually. That's one of the things that probably would help someone maybe, you know, get familiar with who's out there and what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me, Sam, do you respond or read your own emails? I mean, the emails of your customers?
I do, yeah. I mean, in support, I've outsourced that now, but when it comes to, Facebook, for example, Facebook's the easiest way for me. I always check my Facebook messages. Sometimes I'll miss a week, but usually I'm in there checking it, and I do respond to my own emails. I check my own emails. I'll either forward them to someone who can help, or if it's something that, you know, if someone's introducing a product to me, for example, I do take that very seriously. And the reason I take it very seriously is in the past, I've missed a couple of products that became really big. And it's because I didn't pay attention, you know, because it wasn't a familiar name to me. I thought, oh no, you know, I won't even check that out. And then suddenly I see this big launch coming out, and I'm like, oh wow, what a cool product, I'll promote that. And I realize I'm promoting this product that, you know, I had an opportunity to launch way back, and it's done really well. So now I always, no matter who it is, if there's a product that's brought to me, I will see it 100% of the time, because you know, I don't want to miss out on a big opportunity. And Tom, you're probably in the same position. Whereas, you know, if someone approaches you with a product, you do take time to look at it, because if it's a good product, you know, it's in your best interests to launch it if it's a good product, you know. So it's quite interesting. It's how the market works, and it is a big part of it is relationships. One of the things for me, listening to you talk, is the community, plug into that JVZoo community. For me, I left, I lost complete momentum, came back to JVZoo, and it was the community that, you know, and some of the relationships, two relationships in particular early on, that really helped to springboard me to generating another list, to building products. And you know, if people are willing to connect with people and become part of the community, even without launching products, just being involved in the community, connecting with people, when the time comes that they're ready, they're in that position, then, you know, it can be a really good thing to do. So really cool. So anything you'd like to finish on, or anything that you're working on right now you'd like to tell people about?
Well, actually, I wasn't planning on pitching anything. I'm not going to pitch anything, but you know, I am working on something. I'm not sure when you're going to release this video, right? I'm not sure when it's going to go live, actually. But now it's the 12th of May, and on the 31st of May 2017, I am working on something that I'm releasing on that date. It's called the easiest system ever, and I don't feel comfortable talking about a product right here, because I wanted to bring value and share my story instead of pitching products. So I'm going to just leave a few words. The easiest system ever, it's the name of the product. You can find it if you go to manchai.com, and you'll find it on that date, 31st of May. You can get and see my JV page. I don't care if you're a customer or not. Just see my JV page. You'll see what it is all about. But the product is simply, in my opinion, the easiest way on the internet to make money right now and also scale it to a significant income, right? Something really life-changing. It's something we have dozens of testimonials, actually hundreds, but dozens of video testimonials, a lot of results, hundreds of thousands of dollars generated, people making money on their first day, on their first 2 days, making hundreds of dollars, $100 sales. And, you know, just in my opinion, it is the easiest way to make money on the internet right now. So if you want to, you know, you can check it out. And that's it. That's what I'm going to say.
Very cool. And you mentioned Munchai as well, munchai.com, and that's where we've been encouraging everyone to go and check out launches that are happening. We actually, Chris, one of the other interviews that you'll see from Munchai came on and talked about the website. So yeah, definitely go over and check it out. And Tom, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. You've shared some really good information. I'm sure everyone really appreciates it. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure. And you know, you rock, man. And I wish everyone a lot of, you know, success, and hope you take action. You listen to this man, because if you do, and if you take action, you're going to be in the exact same position as Sam is right now in no time. You won't even feel it, you know.
Very cool. Awesome. All right, we'll talk soon.